Chosen ones, why darkness is not an energy killer, it's your huge gift. There comes a moment in the life of every chosen one when the darkness feels overwhelming. It creeps in silently, disguising itself as exhaustion, depression, confusion, or even hopelessness. You start to wonder if you've lost your way, if something inside of you is broken, if the universe has abandoned you. But what if I told you that this darkness is not here to destroy you? What if I told you this darkness is your greatest gift? We have been conditioned to fear darkness, to see it as something that robs us of our energy, our willpower, and our connection to the divine. But that is the great illusion. Darkness is not an energy killer, it is an energy activator. But it is the force that pushes you beyond your limits, that strips away everything false, that reveals the truth of who you are. The reason it feels so heavy is because it is forcing you to face parts of yourself that you have long ignored. It is not here to weaken you, it is here to initiate you.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Think about it. Every great transformation in life happens in the dark. A seed does not grow in the sunlight. It begins its journey buried deep underground, in complete darkness, before it ever reaches the light. A butterfly does not emerge fully formed, it dissolves into nothingness inside the cocoon before it is reborn. And you, right now, are in that sacred stage of transformation. You are being broken open, not because you are weak, but because you are ready to become something greater. But here's the thing, most people do not understand this process. But when they enter the darkness, they panic, they resist, they try to escape, they see the discomfort and assume something has gone wrong. And in doing so, they prolong their suffering. Because the darkness is not something you are meant to fight, it is something you are meant to embrace. The more you resist it, the more it consumes you. But the moment you stop running, the moment you turn towards it with open eyes, everything shifts. So ask yourself, what is this darkness trying to show me? What have I been avoiding? What fears, what wounds, what hidden truths are rising to the surface? Because that is what the darkness does. It brings everything buried within you into the light. It forces you to see the parts of yourself that you have been too afraid to face. It reveals your deepest insecurities, your greatest doubts, your suppressed emotions. And at first, this feels like suffering, but in reality, this is liberation. Because once you see these things clearly, they no longer have power over you. Think of it like a fire. When you step too close, it burns. It feels unbearable. But if you stand there long enough, if you allow yourself to endure the heat, something incredible happens. The fire no longer consumes you. It transforms you. It purifies you. It strips away everything that is not truly you and leaves behind only what is real, what is strong, what is eternal. This is why the chosen ones go through deeper darkness than most. Because we are here to embody something greater, to bring light to places that others are too afraid to go. And in order to do that, we must first face our own shadows. We must first walk through the fire ourselves. This is not a punishment, it is a preparation. You are not being broken, you are being initiated. But the question is, will you trust this process? Will you allow yourself to surrender to the darkness, to sit with it, to learn from it? Or will you keep resisting, keep running, keep seeing it as something that is draining you rather than something that is empowering you? Because the truth is, the way you see your darkness determines everything. But if you believe it is here to destroy you, it will feel like suffering. But if you believe it is here to strengthen you, it will feel like transformation. And here's something even deeper: your greatest power is hidden within the very darkness you fear. Think about that. The energy you have been searching for, the clarity you have been craving, the wisdom you have been seeking, it is all buried within this darkness. The reason it feels so heavy is because it is filled with unprocessed energy, energy that has been locked away, waiting for you to claim it. And the moment you stop fearing it, the moment you turn inward and say, "I am ready to face this," that energy is released. So what if, instead of seeing your darkness as something that is draining you, you saw it as something that is awakening you? What if, instead of trying to escape it, you leaned into it, trusting that whatever is being revealed is coming up for a reason? What if this period of heaviness, of confusion, of emotional intensity is not a breakdown, but a breakthrough? Because here is the truth: your darkness is not your enemy. It is your gateway to evolution. It is the sacred space where your old self dies and your true self is born. And if you can sit with it, if you can embrace it, if you can trust it, you will emerge on the other side with a strength, a clarity, a power that you never knew existed. Now, I ask you, are you willing to see your darkness differently? Are you willing to trust that this is not the end, but the beginning? Because if you are, then everything is about to change. The secret power hidden in your shadows, why facing your darkness unlocks your greatest strength. There is a secret that only those who have walked through the deepest darkness truly understand. Your shadows do not make you weak, they make you powerful beyond measure. The very things you have been avoiding, the emotions you have suppressed, the fears you have buried, these are not obstacles. They are keys. They are the locked doors standing between you and your highest self. And the only way to claim your full power is to stop running from them and turn to face them head-on. Most people fear their own darkness because they do not understand it. They believe that if they look too closely at their pain, at their past, at the raw emotions they have kept hidden, they will be consumed by them. But this is the great illusion. The darkness does not exist to swallow you whole, it exists to awaken you. It exists to show you the parts of yourself that you have forgotten, the strength you have yet to claim, the power that has been waiting for you in the places you are most afraid to go. Think about it. Every great transformation in this world comes from those who have dared to face their darkness. The strongest warriors, the most enlightened souls, the ones who lead, who heal, who create, they are not the ones who have avoided pain. They are the ones who have walked through it, who have embraced it, who have allowed it to carve them into something greater. So what happens when you stop fearing your shadows? What happens when you stop seeing your past wounds, your fears, your suffering as burdens and start seeing them as gifts? Something incredible shifts. The energy that was once trapped in fear, in avoidance, in resistance is suddenly released. The very thing that once drained you begins to empower you. Because the truth is, your darkness is not separate from your light, it is the foundation of it. But the deeper your shadows, the greater your capacity for illumination. The more pain you have endured, the more wisdom you have access to. But here is where most people get stuck. They believe that healing means erasing the past, that awakening means escaping suffering. But real transformation is not about eliminating darkness, it is about integrating it. It is about learning to stand in both light and shadow and recognize that they are not enemies, but partners in your evolution. Look at your own life. Think of the moments that shaped you the most. Were they the easy moments, the comfortable moments, the times when everything was smooth and effortless? Or were they the moments that tested you, that broke you open, that forced you to see yourself in ways you never had before? The moments that demanded you either rise or remain trapped. This is the power of darkness. It forces you to choose. Will you allow it to define you as a victim, or will you claim it as fuel for your transformation? Because here's the truth, your greatest strength is hidden in the places you have been most afraid to look. The fears you refuse to face, the pain you try to suppress, the chaos you avoid, these are the doorways. And when you finally gather the courage to step through them, you will realize that what you feared was never the darkness itself, but your own power. So I ask you, what if your darkness is not here to harm you? What if it is here to set you free? What if everything you have been running from is actually the very thing that will unlock the next level of your life, your purpose, your destiny? The chosen ones understand this. They are not the ones who have had the easiest journeys, but they are the ones who have had to walk through fire, who have had to confront their own demons, who have had to face the storms that others run from. And because of this, they rise with a strength that is unshakable, with a wisdom that cannot be taught, with a power that is undeniable. And now you stand at this crossroads. You have felt the weight of your own darkness. You have questioned if you are strong enough to carry it, if you are capable of overcoming it. But what if you stopped seeing it as something to overcome and started seeing it as something to embrace? What if, instead of trying to escape it, you allowed it to show you what it has been trying to teach you all along? Because here is the secret that changes everything. The moment you stop resisting your darkness, it transforms. The pain becomes wisdom. The fear becomes strength. The suffering becomes the very thing that propels you forward. And suddenly, you realize that the darkness was never your enemy. It was your initiation. Now, the only question that remains is, are you ready to stop running? Are you ready to face what has been waiting for you in the shadows? Because if you are, then you are about to step into a power that few ever discover. The warrior's path: how to use darkness as the ultimate fuel for your awakening. There is a reason why only a few truly awaken. It is not because awakening is reserved for a special group of people. It is not because some are more worthy than others. It is because the path of awakening is not for the faint of heart. It requires something most people are unwilling to do. It requires walking straight into the chaos, into the uncertainty, into the very darkness that the world teaches us to fear. It requires becoming a warrior, not in the sense of fighting external battles, but in the sense of mastering the internal war, the war between fear and truth, but between illusion and reality, between limitation and infinite potential. Most people do not realize that darkness is not here to weaken them, it is here to build them. Every chosen one, every awakened soul, every true master of energy has had to face their own darkness and learn how to turn it into power. This is the alchemy of transformation. You do not escape darkness, you transmute it. You do not destroy fear, you integrate it. You do not wait for the light to come, you become the light within the darkness. And this is where most people get stuck. And they believe that in order to awaken, they must first rid themselves of all darkness, all pain, all struggle. But this is a lie. The highest level of mastery is not the absence of darkness, it is the ability to stand in the darkness and remain unshaken, to look into the void and not flinch, to feel the weight of suffering and transform it into fuel for something greater. The question is, how do you do this? How do you take the very thing that has been weighing you down and turn it into the force that lifts you up? The answer lies in how you relate to your pain. Most people see pain as a burden, as a sign that something is wrong. But pain is not the enemy. Pain is a messenger. It is an energy that is trying to move through you, to teach you, to reveal something that you have been avoiding. And if you resist it, if you suppress it, if you try to escape it, you only make it stronger. But if you meet it with awareness, if you allow yourself to fully feel it without judgment, something incredible happens. It begins to transform. This is the warrior's path. It is not about avoiding suffering. It is about learning how to use it. It is about training yourself to see every challenge, every wound, every shadow as an opportunity to rise higher, to become stronger, to expand beyond what you thought was possible. It is about shifting your perspective from "why is this happening to me?" to "what is this teaching me?" It is about no longer seeing yourself as a victim of darkness, but as an alchemist who has the power to turn darkness into gold. And this is not just philosophy, this is practical. The next time you feel weighed down by your own darkness, do not run from it. Sit with it. Close your eyes and feel it fully. Observe where it shows up in your body, where it tightens, where it contracts. But breathe into it. Instead of labeling it as bad, ask it what it is trying to reveal to you. Because every emotion, every pain, every struggle carries wisdom. And the moment you stop resisting it, you gain access to that wisdom. But here is where the true power comes in. Once you learn to sit with your darkness without fear, you gain control over it. It no longer dictates your actions. It no longer drains your energy. It no longer keeps you stuck in cycles of suffering. Because now, instead of running from it, you are using it. You are channeling it. You are turning it into fuel. Think about the greatest leaders, the most powerful creators, the ones who have left a mark on this world. They were not people who lived easy, comfortable lives. They were people who faced immense challenges, immense suffering, immense darkness. But instead of letting it break them, they turned it into something extraordinary. They used their pain to fuel their vision, their mission, their purpose. They became unstoppable because they learned the secret that most people never discover. Darkness is not a barrier. It is a catalyst. And this is what separates the chosen ones from the rest. The chosen ones do not wait for the light to come and save them. They do not pray for an easier path. They do not wish away their struggles. They take everything life has given them, the pain, the hardship, the shadows, and they use it to rise. They use it to sharpen their mind, to deepen their wisdom, to strengthen their spirit. They use it to awaken. So now, the question is, what will you do with your darkness? Will you keep seeing it as something that is holding you back, or will you start using it as the very thing that propels you forward? Will you keep resisting the challenges in your life, or will you embrace them as the training ground for your highest evolution? Will you let your fears control you, or will you finally step into your power and claim the life you were meant to live? Because the truth is, the darkness is not here to defeat you. It is here to prepare you. It is here to forge you into the person you were always meant to become. And once you understand this, once you fully embody this truth, you will never see darkness the same way again. You will no longer fear it. You will no longer fight it. You will welcome it as an old friend, as a sacred teacher, as the very force that has been guiding you toward your awakening all along. The unbreakable spirit, how to rise from darkness and become an unstoppable force in this world. There is a moment in every chosen one's journey when the darkness no longer feels like an enemy, when the suffering no longer feels like punishment, when the weight that once felt unbearable suddenly transforms into fuel. This is the moment of true awakening. The moment when you realize that everything you have endured, everything you have struggled with, everything that has tried to break you was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to forge you into something unshakable. But most people spend their entire lives running from pain, avoiding discomfort, fearing the unknown. But the chosen ones, the ones who truly awaken, do something different. They stop running. They stop resisting. They turn around and face the darkness head-on, not with fear, but with the knowing that within that darkness lies their greatest power. And once they do this, they become unstoppable. Because here is the truth: nothing can break you unless you allow it to. No experience, no failure, no betrayal, no hardship has the power to define you unless you give it permission to. And the moment you decide, truly decide, that you are unbreakable, that you will no longer be a prisoner of your past, that you will no longer be controlled by fear, that is the moment everything changes. That is the moment you step into your true power. But stepping into this power requires something most people are unwilling to do. It requires full ownership. Ownership of your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your destiny. It requires letting go of the victim mindset, the belief that life is happening to you rather than for you. It requires understanding that no matter what has happened, no matter what pain you have endured, you still have a choice. You can let it define you, or you can use it to rise. And this is the greatest secret of all. The ones who become the most powerful in this world are not the ones who have had the easiest paths. They are the ones who have faced the most adversity, the most hardship, the most darkness, and have used it all to fuel their transformation. They did not wait for life to become easier. They did not wait for someone to save them. They made the decision to rise, no matter what. So ask yourself, what have you been waiting for? Have you been waiting for the pain to go away before you step into your power? Have you been waiting for the fear to disappear before you take action? Have you been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect circumstances, the perfect mindset before you truly commit to your purpose? Because if you are, you will be waiting forever. The truth is, the perfect moment will never come. The fear will not disappear. The pain will not magically dissolve. What changes is you. What changes is your relationship to it. The moment you stop waiting and start deciding, the moment you take full control of your mind, your emotions, your energy, that is the moment you become unbreakable. That is the moment you realize that nothing outside of you has power over you unless you allow it to. That is the moment you stop seeing yourself as someone struggling to survive and start seeing yourself as someone destined to lead. Because the world does not need more people who are waiting. It does not need more people who are trapped in fear, in doubt, in hesitation. It needs warriors. It needs leaders. It needs those who have walked through the fire and emerged stronger. It needs those who have faced their own darkness and have turned it into light. It needs those who refuse to be broken, who refuse to be controlled, who refuse to live a life that is anything less than extraordinary. And that is why you are here, not just to survive, not just to get by, but to rise. To show the world what is possible when someone refuses to be defeated, and to be a living example of what happens when you take every hardship, every struggle, every challenge, and turn it into fuel. To become a force that cannot be stopped, not because life is easy, but because you have become so strong that nothing can shake you. So now, the question is, what will you do with this power? Will you step fully into it, or will you keep waiting? Will you claim your destiny, or will you keep doubting? Will you rise, or will you keep telling yourself you are not ready? Because the truth is, you are ready. You always have been. Everything you have been through, everything you have faced, everything you have endured has been preparing you for this moment. And now the choice is yours. Will you step forward into the unknown, into the challenge, into the fire, knowing that you are strong enough to handle whatever comes? Or will you stay where it is safe, where it is comfortable, where it is predictable? Because only one of those choices leads to true power. Only one of those choices leads to a life without limits. Only one of those choices leads to becoming truly unbreakable. And if you are truly ready, if you are truly committed, then nothing can stop you. Not fear, not pain, not struggle. Because once you truly decide that you are unbreakable, that you will rise no matter what, that you will use every challenge as fuel for your awakening, then you become the force that nothing in this world can contain. You are not here to be ordinary. You are not here to live in fear. You are here to awaken. You are here to lead. You are here to become something greater than you ever imagined. And now, the time has come. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more holding back. Rise now. Rise fully. Rise without hesitation. And never look back.